What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Happy post 4th of July. Just want to say welcome to another episode of This Brother Talk. Hey, anybody who gets on here, I appreciate you checking it out. We got a host of things that we're going to talk about today. I might dig deeper into some than I do others, but with that being said, we're going to jump right into things. Hey, if anybody participates, I appreciate it. Hey, I'll try to comment and show other comments on what you comment on and everything. So we're going to move right along, and we're going to start out with Serena Williams. Serena Williams withdrawal from the Wimbledon, and after a slip in her first match, and she wasn't able to finish. She was up 3-1 when she slipped, and she had to stop when it got 3-3. Because she just couldn't continue. She had to hold back tears and all of that good stuff. But a lot of people have been asking, is it time for Serena to call it quits? And I really don't think so. I think that, if you expect total dominance from Serena like you used to, it won't happen. But at the same time, we have to take into consideration everything that has happened over the past few years, over the past year or so, because COVID has been here, so you can't train the way you want to train, and like a lot of these athletes are creatures of habit, and I think she's one of those creatures of habit. And of course, she had a child, and so with COVID going on, like, you couldn't practice like you want to, you're not playing like you normally do, and then it was some issues with the court where she slipped and fell. They said she left the next day, and her coach said that she was walking and everything, which that's a good sign. So we'll see what happens. But as far as Serena quitting, I don't think that's the case. I think she can still, get that record of 24. She's at 23 majors, and I still think that she can play good quality, tennis. I'm not going to say that Neil, they're really not saying she just, she hurt. It's a leg injury or something. So they haven't really got into the gist of everything. They just know that, she twisted, she slipped and hurt her leg or something. So, she gets some tests and stuff done. So they don't know. They say she's walking on her own. So we'll see. But, and I think that, everybody's so quick to rush to judgment just because somebody doesn't win when you expect them to win. And then the other thing you got to realize too is the competition is a lot tougher than it used to be. Like, now she's playing against people that idolized her, and all that good stuff. So, but I think, she will eventually, get that record. She'll come back and get a major or two, I think. And then I think she'll call it quits after then and just go, and build her brand and also, be a mom and all that good stuff. So I think some people are really too quick to rush to judgment. I think Serena's fine. I think that, she gets this injury under control. She'll come back stronger than ever. And with everything starting to get back to normal with, COVID and everything, she can get back to her regular routine and, and get back to winning majors and winning, and winning championships and stuff. So, I wish Serena well. I hope that she has a speedy recovery, and then, we see what happens from there. Now, if she doesn't go back and win, I'll be back the first to tell you that, I was wrong, but I do think she still has a lot left in the tank. So, and we're going to move right along. We're going to get into something that, I feel like should have been done. The NCAA removes restrictions. And the restrictions are that these players can get paid off their likeness and, their name and all that good stuff. So I feel like, yeah, I agree with you, Neil. It's the same thing, is age and my youth. I agree with you. But now we're going to move to the NCAA. The NCAA removed restrictions. And now players, college athletes can get paid for their name and their likeness and all that good stuff. They can get endorsement deals and, things of that nature, and I like it. I like it because the NCAA has been the biggest pimps in the world. They're a nonprofit and they profit so much off of these players, their names, their games, everything. And these players don't get nothing but, full ride scholarships. And then, what do you do whenever you're hungry and, you don't have any money, you don't have food, any of that stuff. And I was one of those college athletes. I saw, whenever we made it to Division II NCAA tournament, how much money the school got back. And this was just Division II. They started remodeling stuff, start adding stuff and new floors and, all types of stuff. So like, I completely understand, what it really is. But it's a downside to everything, and what a lot of people are failing to see this side of it. I want the players to get, what's rightfully theirs because they deserve it. But I just pray and hope that they do the right things with these endorsements because they're getting money, and you don't want to have an issue where you got a player that didn't pay their taxes, then, it come back and bite them in their behind. Because, it's really going to be up to them to do the right thing about their money, file their taxes, pay their taxes. Because a lot of times in some of these endorsement deals, they give you the money, you got to report it to the IRS, and then, it goes from there. But if they don't, then it's going to come back and bite them in the behind. So I'm just praying that, they have good people in their corner, good people in their camp that, will help them do what they're supposed to do with, the money. Because, you can get some money and say, oh, somebody going to pay me $100,000 a year, for an endorsement. And if they do, then it has Uncle Sam going to get his. And that's what I think some people, fail to realize in this. It opens up a Pandora's box because at the end of the day, guys going to get paid, and I think it's going to get even more and more shadier because now these guys going to have to read over contracts for themselves. And a lot of people are going to say, whenever this player see, such and such is trying to get, they sign a contract real quick, don't read over it, don't read the fine print, and then boom, everybody mad with the company. Oh, the company did them dirty. No, the company didn't do them dirty. The company gave them a contract. They didn't read over it. The company, now some of these companies going to start profiting more off of these players, and all it's going to be is just, them turning into the NCAA. But only difference is the players getting money, which that makes it look good. But at the end of the day, I'm just afraid some of these players are not going to read contracts. Some of them not going to pay taxes. I just feel like it just opened up a whole nother can of worms. Just like that, Neil, what you said says would have made NCAA computer games much more realistic and helped out with day-to-day life for players. If schools were not so greedy, it would not come to this. I saw the effects when I played too. Schools require tax forms before season. Yeah, I mean, I agree. And, luckily I played for a guy. He wasn't real. He wasn't a shady man. He budgeted our program well because, I played for a Division II program. So we didn't get, a whole lot of money. But, at the end of the day, we started making some once we started, winning and, going to the NCAA tournament and all that good stuff. So, but what's going to happen is I just pray that, everybody is done the right way. So my thing is that, a shout out to the NCAA for finally doing something right. And I feel like this is the only reason why I feel like they did it. I think with the rules of the NBA now and the rules of all of these other, people trying to start other leagues, and, the NBA was allowing these guys to come and get G League contracts. And I just feel like the NCAA was like, oh, we about to lose a bunch of big names and, all that good stuff. And it was going to come back and bite them in the behind. So I just feel like NCAA doing that, it's just they're trying to put a Band-Aid on something. It's a lot of people upset. I'm interested to see if somebody like Dabo Swinney is going to live up to his word, because he said a couple years ago, if players start getting paid, he may quit. But, I feel like if the coaches, like, it's so many rules in the NCAA that bothers me. And this was one of them, along with, they finally open up transfer protocols and all that good stuff where players can, immediately be able to play if they transfer. And, these coaches are hypocritical because, a coach could be coaching and then all of a sudden they can get another job and then they can coach right away, where the players have to be the ones to sit out and coaches getting paid millions and millions off of these players. And so, that being said, I'm happy the players are able to, profit off their name and their likeness, which they should. But I just hope that, we have good people in their camp. I hope that these people who are doing endorsements, these companies and all that good stuff, they do it the right way so it doesn't turn into a cesspool of, of mess, because this right here is good, but it could turn ugly because it's an ugly side of this. And, I just hope that, players do what they're supposed to do with their money and pay taxes, because you don't want to get, in a situation where you haven't paid taxes and all of that good stuff, and know how to do that type of stuff. Read over your contracts and, eventually they're going to have to pay somebody to read over. That's where I feel like now they're going to start having agents and, things of that nature. So, finally the NCAA doing something right, but I really feel like it's because, they saw the writing on the wall. It was almost to the point where they weren't going to have anybody, because all the big name players were going to go, overseas or play in the G League and get paid good money. And so that wasn't going to do anything but make the NBA profit some more. And, me personally, if I was the NBA, this is another story for another day. I would go ahead and kill the NCAA, because the NBA could do it. Baseball do a great job of it. Baseball has farm leagues and stuff. And, if I was the NBA, I would create a farm league and I would have each team to have their own, G League team. And then, each G League, right up on the G League, then it would be a lower seed. So these guys, you can get these guys, they can come in and play. You can see if they're good enough to be a part of the G League team. And then G League, and you graduate to the NBA, it's a possibility. I would just, do away with it. I wouldn't have no draft from NCAA players. I would go ahead and draft from within and have NBA team, G League team, lower league team. And if you had a guy that was coming out of, high school that was legit enough and you felt like he possibly could play in the NBA, you put him in that G League, unless he was just a stud and he went straight to, the NBA team. That's what I would do. I would just have myself a farm league, and I would have each team will have 3 different teams. It will be the NBA team, the G League team, and then it would be sort of kind of like that college team or whatever. And then who's not going to watch it? Because if you see all of these guys not going to college, but they in sort of kind of like an atmosphere to play in where you can still see, amateur basketball, that would kill the NCAA. Like, the NCAA wouldn't have a leg to stand on. The NBA should really think about that, have their own farm league, and just, cycle their guys from within and quit trying to, get them from the NCAA and all these colleges and stuff, because NCAA doesn't do stuff right. And a lot of these colleges don't do stuff right either, because they don't look out for the players. They look out for whoever they want to look out for. So, I'm glad they finally removed this restriction. So we'll see what happens. It's looking good right now. You see players getting, endorsement deals, and I'm happy for them. So, shout out to all the players, and definitely not the NCAA. And our next topic, we're going to talk about the Hawks removed interim off Nate McMilan. And I feel like this was BS, because the interim tag should have been off of Nate McMilan. It shouldn't have waited to see if he was going to win 2 rounds in the playoffs to see if he was legit enough to be the coach. Whenever he took over the coaching ranks, if I'm not mistaken, they were 14-20. 14-20. And made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. And, it was close, but it showed their immaturity. Trae Young get hurt, and they some pieces away. And, you know, for them just to now take it off is really bad in my eyes, because he should have been had it taken off. And then you still don't know the terms of it. They're saying it's going to be 4 years, and we still working out everything. That contract should have been ready for that man, you know, as soon as you seen him get you into the playoffs and seeing how the players responded to him, because that would have sent a message to them showing that, you know, you got the best interest for the team, because we like playing for this guy. You know, we'll run through a wall for this guy. But, you know, Nate McMilan, you know, he's been proven in the NBA. His coaching stints have been really good. I felt like he got a raw deal in Indiana, but now, you know, they took the interim off. And I think that, you know, he would do good things in Atlanta if they keep, you know, the right pieces and all that stuff around, and, you know, keep Trae Young healthy. And they work on some other things, because they got a good young core. And but, you know, shout out to Nate McMillan. I'm happy that, you know, he got the interim tag taken off, because I kept hearing him say in the playoffs, and I kind of cringed every time that, you know, every time they said it, because I felt like he should have been, you know, the head coach, not no interim head coach, because he took over and he did a phenomenal job with, you know, the Atlanta Hawks down the stretch. You know, if I'm not mistaken, I got to look at it real quick, because I forgot to check that out and see what they found a record was. But, you know, for him and what he did with that team was very impressive. They finished fifth when they were 11th whenever he took over, and they were, like I said, 14-20, and ended and they were actually tied for fourth with the Knicks, and they ended up 41-31. So when he took over, they only lost 11 games. That says a lot. That says a lot about what he did and how they felt about playing for this guy, because, you know, it could have went the other way. It could have went the other way. It could have easily went the other way. And then, you know, I would be like and say, okay, well, you know, it's time for them to move on. But, you know, Nate McMillan did a phenomenal job in Atlanta, you know, whenever he took over. And shout out to him for finally getting, you know, the due diligence that he getting a 4-year deal from what they're saying, but they haven't, you know, discussed all the terms and all that good stuff. All right, so we're going to stay in the NBA, and the NBA finals preview. All right, so we have, you know, the NBA set. The Hawks lost to the Bucks. The Bucks beat the Hawks in 6. Giannis missed the last few games with a hyperextended knee. They said that he's making progress, but I don't know how much progress you can make from a hyperextended knee in that short period of time, because the finals start tomorrow. So we're not even sure if he's going to play tomorrow. And the Suns beat the Clippers, which I'm not shocked at that, you know, because the last time that I talked about it, I was saying that the series wasn't over, but it was over, because I felt like the Clippers would come out and play a good game in game 5 to, you know, send it to game 6. But I didn't think they had enough in the tank to get it done, to beat the Suns. I just felt like the Suns was a well-oiled machine. They got all the pieces that you need, and, you know, all that good stuff. Like, you got Chris Paul, you got Devin Booker, but they got all the other pieces, that make them better, like the role players. And, you know, then they might have the best backup point guard in the league, because he just come out. He's been playing phenomenal himself. But finals previews is the Bucks and the Suns. One thing about this right here is, the way I look at it is, the NBA, I think they're winners in this, because it's two teams that either never won a championship, and the other one hadn't won a championship in about 40 years, if I'm not mistaken. The Bucks and then the Suns had never won one. They hadn't been to the finals since '93, when Charles Barkley and Dan Marlin, those guys, you know, faced the Chicago Bulls, and they lost in 6, if I'm not mistaken. But during the regular season, the Suns went 2-0 against the Bucks. in which the regular season means nothing whenever, it's playoff time. One thing that helped the Bucks out is Giannis getting hurt because, we really saw Chris Middleton take over and show that he's the best player on the Bucks. Like, I don't care what everybody says. He's their finisher. He's their best player. He's the person that can get the shots whenever he needs to get shots. Like, you take him away, Giannis can't get to the basket like he wants to. Chris Middleton really, took over, in those last two games against the Hawks. Like, he really showed. And then Drew Holiday, he really was more aggressive. And, and I think them playing against the Hawks were younger. And I'm not making up excuses because it's a hell of an ordeal to win, and you face who's in front of you. And, a lot of people would say, well, the Nets wasn't 100%, so, I'm the type of person, next man up. That's the way I feel about it. It's next man up. So, I'm looking forward to watching this finals because I feel like it's going to be a really, 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 really good series. If Giannis doesn't play, I still think it'll be a good series because I think they have a good team. The difference in the series, I think it would be the two coaches, Monty Williams versus Budenholzer, and I don't know if Budenholzer will make the adjustments like he's supposed to. Yeah, Neil, that's one thing I like. This feels like a little old school because you're gonna have two teams that really get physical, and it's no buddies, playing against each other, in my personal opinion. And so, with that being said, the finals start tomorrow. I'm honestly wishing the Suns win because I'm just rooting for Chris Paul. I feel like the guy has been the MVP of the league the last 2 years. He doesn't get any credit. And it's a lot of hate coming his way. He had a phenomenal game 6. He got so into Patrick Beverley's head. Patrick Beverley just lost it. And, a lot of people say, I wonder what Chris Paul said to him. But you go back and watch the video, he didn't say anything to him. He just walked past him and stirred him down. And, Patrick Beverley had did all that talking and all that good stuff, but he talked the entire time. And whenever it was given back to him, he couldn't take it. Like, Chris Paul was giving them the business. Like, he would just, whoever they put in front of him, he was just giving it to him. And I'm just rooting for the guy. One, he's a North Carolina guy, but two, meeting the guy when I did, he seems very humble. A lot of people give him a bad rap because he talks a lot, but like, that kind of remind me of myself. Like, if I'm playing and, a leader talks, and that's one thing he does. It's not like he talking to belittle you. He's talking to make you better. And if you watch, a lot of people say Devin Booker took bad shots, but since Chris Paul been there, those bad shots have not been bad shots because he's showing this guy that, you can get whatever shot you want, but get it within the flow and get everybody else involved. And so, and then, you got the Jay Crowders of the world on that team where I feel like, Jay Crowder is a difference maker because if Giannis does plays, I think Jay Crowder can guard him because he can get real physical with him. And because Jay Crowder's a big body that, is underestimated. And so I'm just looking forward to the series. I'm looking forward to the NBA Finals. Finally, is no Golden State. There's no Lakers. There's no LeBron. There's no KD. We got somebody who's hungry for one, and Chris Paul, whose 16-year career could could this could put a stamp on it right here for him. If the Bucks win and Giannis plays, I think it will be bad for Giannis. Not because he didn't win, but I think it would be bad because he will continue to play the way he plays. And until Giannis get a jump shot, because what's going to happen when the athletic ability goes away? Then he's nothing because he doesn't have a jump shot. And if I was the Suns, if he does play, I would back off of him. I'd back 6 feet off of him and make him take jump shots. And then if he does try to go to the block, you put Jay Crowder on and let him be physical. He just can't muscle Jay Crowder the way he muscles everybody else. So, and I think the difference with the Bucks is if Chris Middleton is not the best player on their team, I don't think that they will win because it has to be him. Yeah, he's shown that he could be that guy. Like, just beat the Hawks a couple of nights ago. He went on a 16-0 run by himself in the third quarter. And, that's very impressive. But I think the Suns are a better defensive team. I think the Suns are, I'm talking about as far as matchups now. I think they're a better, defensive team than Atlanta was. So, and then I feel like the Bucks are a better defensive team against the Suns than the Clippers were. And that's crazy because Paul George is supposed to be, one of the best two-way players and, all that good stuff. But I'm looking forward to the finals. It comes on tomorrow. Tomorrow is what's the next game? Scores. Starts 7-6, comes on at 8 p.m. So 9 p.m. Eastern time, but 8 p.m. my time. And the Suns right now are a 5.5 favorite right now, 5.5 favorite over the Bucks in game one, which I think that's going to be the key to it. I think coming out and putting a hold on game one is going to be real big. Chris Paul never played in the finals, but I think his poise and leadership will kind of settle the Suns down. I'm not sure who can settle the Bucks down, with the nerves and all of that good stuff, especially if Giannis doesn't play, because the finals is the biggest stage in the NBA, and it's a 7-game series, and so we'll see what happens. Game one tomorrow, so everybody check it out. And we gonna move right on along, and we're gonna talk about, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna be careful about talking about this right here. Sha'Carri Richardson, she failed a drug test, and I just talked about her last Monday, and I was praising her and telling everybody, leave this young lady alone. If she wants to express herself, through hair and fingernails and all that good stuff, let her do it. So, but since then she failed a drug test, and now she can't run in the 100 in the Olympics, so she's banned for 30 days, and basically that race is thrown out. And I've heard so much different stuff. Me and my sister got into a debate about it because she thinks that the girl should still be able to run because it came out that she failed a drug test, and the first thing people started saying was it steroids? And, a lot of people had already been trying to put out there, she might be on steroids and this, that, and the third. And I think the Olympic Committee handled that wrong first, because whenever you say somebody failed a drug test, I think they should have been specific on what she failed. Then it came out after that she failed with cannabis, marijuana. And the girl, Sha'Carri, she stepped up to the plate, admitted that she was wrong. She knew the rule and all that good stuff. And so we've had celebrities, the Gabrielle Unions, I think D Wade said something, and just a bunch of celebrities have said things, and they're totally wrong. Like, and anybody who sees this differently, they're wrong, because what people fail to realize is this right here: the girl smoked marijuana, she smoked weed, and regardless if marijuana is legal in your state, the Olympic Committee is a private entity, and they have their own rules and bylaws. And marijuana is one substance that they don't want a part of. And she failed the drug test for smoking weed. She said it was because, that was her way of coping, with her mother's death and everything. And I get it that, different people cope with things totally different. But whenever you have bigger dreams and aspirations, then something has to kick in and say that I got to do better. I got to figure out something else. Um, um, oh yeah, Neil, I'm with you. She's showing responsibility. I'm not talking about her now. I'm talking about the people who are making up excuses for her. And I call it an excuse because at some point in time, we as Black people are going to have to hold each other and ourselves accountable. This girl has accepted what she's done, apologized for it, and she says she's going to move on. She has to be better. And I've seen so many people say, well, marijuana is a depressant. It's not something that makes you run faster. That is not the point. And that's what people fail to realize is that the Olympic Committee drug tests you. And you know, if you want to be a part of the Olympics, you can't do, and trust me, they listed all the drugs that you know that they test for. You know that you're going to get drug tested. Regardless if people think it's wrong or not, they're going to drug test her. They test all of them because what people fail to realize is this right here. The Olympics is just not for the United States. It is a complete nation. All the nations come together, and that's what they do. It's a universal thing. So what if a country doesn't allow that type of stuff, and then the Olympics is there? They get caught doing that stuff, and then some of these countries got stricter laws than we have when it comes to certain things like that. And you know, I agree with you. Rules and regulations, right or wrong. That's the and that's the way it is. And my thing is so many people have made excuses. My sister said that it's a depressant, and people deal with stuff. They should overlook it. You can't overlook something like that when somebody signs a contract. You got your rules and regulations in place. If you say, "Oh, we just gonna overlook that just because we feel like she's gonna win a gold medal," then what type of sign is that sending to everybody else? Then the other thing was, people try to turn this into a black-white thing. This has nothing to do with race. It has something to do with racing, but it doesn't have anything to do with race. Like, we can't turn this into a black and white issue because it's not black and white. This is an issue of right and wrong. At first, I felt kind of sorry for her because, of what was going on. But then I didn't, because she made that choice to do that. And with her making that choice, it put her in this situation where she can't run in the event that she wants to run in. It doesn't say that she can't run in the Olympics at all. It says she just can't participate in the 100, the one that everybody felt she was going to win the gold medal for. And it's unfortunate now that she can. And, a lot of people, I seen something earlier about, people saying that, different people cope with things totally different. And I agree with that. I agree with that totally whenever it comes to stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you can't make up an excuse, because with the way the world is now, going to talk to someone is not frowned upon. So if you're going through something, go talk to somebody. Like, you had to take time out to go buy that weed. You had to go get some papers or some blunts and roll it and all that good stuff. So something should have clicked at some point in time. And then on another topic, I'll talk about that in my final word, and that will cover, what I really want to talk about when it comes to her and her situation. And my sister-in-law posted something. Well, I told Chris that I didn't see anything wrong with her smoking. However, I know it wasn't right, but baby girl had to do what she thought she had to do. We weren't We haven't lost our mother, and I don't care how she feel, but it is sad. And I love the fact that she came out and really being honest. Yes, sis, I agree. And um, with that being said, it's it's a lot of people that have lost mothers and stuff like that, and they handle it a different way. And I'm not saying that the way she handled is right or wrong, but in this situation, it was wrong because she knew that she was going to the Olympics. She knew that she was trying to get that gold medal. She knew that she wasn't supposed to smoke anything. And I mean, you could have easily got some alcohol and been good. Um, yeah, yeah, they doing everything with that. I agree with you, but yeah, and see, Partey, that's the thing. She knew all this stuff, and and my thing is, whenever you got these celebrities coming to speak out, talking about let her run, but these are the same people. These are the same folks that have kids. And the way I look at it is that showing your kids the right way to do things, that you can screw up and we'll just turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to it and just let you do what you want to do. Like, if this doesn't happen, and I heard some people say, well, she's just 21 years old. Yeah, she's 21 years old. She's a grown woman by age, but she still has a young mind. But this right here, in my personal opinion, will make her a better woman, a better athlete, and a better runner because she will learn from this right here. Because, um, yeah, and I agree with you. She could have honored her mother in a better way. She made a bad decision, so I'm trying not to harp on that too much, but I'm trying to show people that at the end of the day, this could be a learning experience for her, and you should show it to your kids, nieces and nephews, or anybody that you have that you feel like could be somebody in this day and age. Show them this situation. Let them see her interview, and you will see how she stood up for what she did. And everybody else making up excuses for her. She's not making up the excuse. It's everybody else because they want to see her run and not realizing that she the one made a mistake to keep her from running from being. Now they can't see that because she did this. So this should be a learning experience. And I think that Nike has stuck by her, which I think that's very smart because it's just a simple mistake. It's a simple mistake that's been blown out of proportion because a lot of people are just trying to say, let her run. We can overlook that, this, that, and the third. No, we can't overlook it because this is a committee. This is a job. She signed a contract. She knew the rules and regulations. But I think this should be a learning experience because I think that she will learn and grow from this. And this will make her a better runner because deep down, I think she felt like no matter what she did, her running was going to get her over. And that was her mindset. Her running was going to get her over no matter what she did. And so now she sees that, yes, I can run. I could be the fastest runner. But these little things is stuff that I got to control and keep under wraps. So that way I'll be better, period. Because if I'm not running, what am I right now? You know what I'm saying? And so with that being said, and these people, you need to show it to your little kids and show them like your sons and your daughters, like this is a teachable moment. I'm going to show you this right here. This young lady is this, and this. And she made that one mistake and failed that drug test. And it's keeping her from being one of the greatest athletes alive because she can't go show that off at the Olympics on the grandest stage of them all. Because I see that. I was looking forward to seeing her in that Jamaican run against each other. I was just looking forward to it because that would have just been phenomenal. And she's not going to be able to do that unless she does it in another 4 years or whatever. So unless she's able to run in like the 4x1 or 4x4, whatever, whichever ones that she's able to run in. And so a lot of these celebrities and a lot of, black people need to stop um, with the let her run. This is wrong. This is black and white. They bringing up Michael Phelps, and I went back and looked at it. Michael Phelps got suspended for 3 months for posting a picture of him smoking marijuana on a boat. 3 months. She getting a 30-day ban for failing a drug test. He didn't fail the drug test. They just saw him posted on social media. So 3 months versus 30 days. The girl still can run. Hopefully, the IOC will, pick her to run in some other relay or something like that, where she's able to be a part of Team USA, because this is a great learning experience. Like, it's a bad situation because she's not able to do what she does best. But we as blacks got to start holding each other accountable whenever we do something wrong. We can't make up excuses every time somebody does something wrong and want it to be overlooked. And that leads me to my next topic and my final word. Um, my final word. Um, Normally, I just try to find one thing and talk about, but this right here is near and dear to me, because I've been in this situation before, so I know a little bit about this right here and a whole lot of stuff. So my final word is know your circle. And the reason why I say know your circle is because of this right here. Whenever I was growing up, and I'm not saying I was trying to be an NBA player, NFL player, baseball, none of that stuff. I just want to do enough where Curl and Sue didn't have to, try to find a way to pay for me to go to college. So I used to, I grew up on the hill and at the caution light in Rayford, North Carolina. And there was a lot of guys that I know to this day, they just as nice as they could be, but they had got into the dope game. And I'll never forget, a few of them in the dope game told me, hey, look, man, don't go down the same road that we going down. If you got any problems, you let us know, because you got to get from out of here. We see something in you. They used to come play ball with us and all that good stuff. And it's one thing that I know, that whenever you got people, that want what's best for you, regardless of what they doing. Them boys was selling dope. Somebody got to do it. So I didn't look at them as bad people. I just looked at them as, somebody selling drugs, and, they look out for me. You know what I'm saying? So like, they was always, it wasn't, oh, they didn't look out for me for money. They just looked out for me. Hey, we ain't want you to have no problems. Ain't nobody going to come over here and bother you. You're going to play basketball, and that's what it is. You ain't got to be doing stuff like this right here. And whenever you trying to go somewhere, you got to have good people in your circle, and not yes men that just tell you what you want to hear. And and this is what I say right here. I know if I would have been smoking weed or anything like that, and I went to any of those guys in my neighborhood and been like, hey man, let me get this bag right here, they probably would have told me no, because you got something special going on right now. And that's the way I feel about this whole situation. Whoever sold her that, or whoever gave it to her, didn't have her best interest, because you need people that will tell you, no, you don't need to do that. You got to make a better decision. Because I know she ain't smoking by herself. I know she had somebody around to smoke with her. I know she did. And those people should have been like, no, Sha'Carri, you cannot do this. I know it's tough what's going on. I know, you're mourning the loss of your mama right now, but you got bigger dreams and aspirations than this right here. And that's what a lot of these athletes are lacking. I've seen some horror stories. I won't tell you about it, but I've seen some horror stories where family members don't have the best interests of players, where friends don't have the best interests of these athletes and players. But these people got to start having better people in their circle. It will take you so much further in life and in that sport if you have people in your circle that's going to know and have your best interests. if you're doing something you ain't got no business doing and that person checks you right then and there, hey, look, this ain't some shit you supposed to be doing. That's the person you need with you. That's the person you should take along the way with you instead of somebody watching you do stuff that's going to cause some bad consequences to happen in your situation. You see athletes that you don't see nothing about them in the news and stuff like that because they got people in their corner that will check them. Just because you're making millions and just because, the fame and fortune is on you doesn't mean that you can't have somebody that's in the background just, keeping you in line and keeping you in check. And that's what a lot of these people need to start doing. You need to start having somebody that will have your back, somebody that will be the voice of reasoning to keep you on the straight and narrow. Will you make mistakes? Yes, you will. But you will make less mistakes without the yes men, versus having somebody who will be your bad guy and that person that tells you the truth. I'd rather somebody tell me, hey, how bad my game was versus make up excuses. Oh, you didn't have a bad game. Such and such didn't do this. Such and such didn't do that. No, take a look within yourself. And then look at that circle that you have going with you. And if you have a good, complete circle, I guarantee you, like, your career will be long lasting. A lot of people give LeBron James a hard time. Like, I respect everything LeBron James does. But LeBron has a camp around him, and you don't hear a whole bunch of mess that's going on off the court. You don't see LeBron getting into no mess off the court because I feel like he got some friends that, he have put in situations that they appreciate it, and they'll tell him straight up, "Nah, bro, you need not do this." That's just how it is. You look at Chris Paul, same thing for Chris Paul. You don't hear a whole bunch of mess about Chris Paul. He keep it internal. But he got people in his camp that I guarantee, because I know somebody personally in his camp, and I know they'll speak their mind. And that's what you need. She needs people in her corner that will tell her and put her in the right situations and have her in the right direction where she doesn't make these type of mistakes right here. Yes, you're human. You're going to make mistakes. But mistakes like this right here that hinder you from being the greatest that you can possibly be is, a shot in the foot. Like, she can't go be great at the Olympics this year simply because of one simple mistake. And that mistake probably was 2 or 3 minutes. That's all it was. 2 or 3 minutes of a mistake. Smoke some weed. And that's another thing my sister said. Well, weed stay in your system 30 days. Who gives a crap how many days you stay in it? If you're trying to be great and you're trying to get to the Olympics and you're trying to win a gold medal, then that weed can wait. It ain't that serious. Just because it's legal in your state doesn't mean it's legal within that private entity that you're dealing with. So I encourage everybody, like, if you got somebody that could be something in life, whether they're a doctor, lawyer, anything, police officer, firefighter, whatever, and then you got some that's trying to be athletes, business owners, we need to start having each other back and making sure people do what they're supposed to do instead of being yes men. It's okay to disagree with somebody and still have their best interests. And I feel like this is a situation that she's in. She got people that's telling her that she's so great, she's so phenomenal, but won't check her whenever she does something wrong. And this is a prime example of things that could happen whenever you don't have that in your corner. And with that being said, I'm done for today. I appreciate, whoever listened, whoever checked it out. If you didn't get to check it out, it'll be posted on the YouTube page. You can go on here and look it on Facebook also. This one was, more informative than anything because, we talking about, Sha'Carri Richardson and her, failing the drug test and all that good stuff. Just giving people, light on certain things in certain situations that, that they don't see it from that point of view or that side of things. All they see is, the right then, and they don't see the bigger picture. They just see the small parts of it. So, I'll be back. Not sure. I'm supposed to go on vacation next week, but I'll probably be back next Monday, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. Everybody come check it out. We'll have a lot of basketball to talk about because the finals will be going on by that time, and hopefully, Chris Paul will be up 3-1, and the Suns be up 3-1, and we can talk about that. And then football is getting close, and so everybody have a good rest of your evening and a good rest of your week. I'll see you guys next week, and have a good night.